Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Good. How are you? I'm good, thanks. Look fresh and ready to go, right? For me, I always believe that economics class could be early in the day, so it's more of conceptual things, calculating things. So let's start with today's operation. So, if you can remember last week we talked about the production, the investment, and the government sector spending in the economy. So now basically we are ready to go further. So we have understood what are the factors that play a very important role in the economy. So today we'll be talking about the growth. This is the new topic that we'll be talking about today, economic growth. So just to start with, so the learning outcome number 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the outcome that is going to be addressed today. And we'll also be addressed the essential employability skills number 3, which is numeracy, number 4, which is problem solving, and number 9, which is teamwork. So these are the things that are going to be addressed today. And for the lesson specific objective is like we'll understand what is an economic growth. We'll also see what are the cost of this growth and what are the benefits of economic growth in the country. Okay? So that's the way that we make this chain of understanding of growth. Before we just go into, we don't have a planning, but having a plan to go through a video, but before that, do you have any idea what we mean by economic growth? Anybody can tell me? Yeah, Vision.
I'm not economist, but I suppose it's when country produces more goods and have more like bigger ton of money during a certain period of time, something like that.
Oh, fantastic. You are very close to the actual answer to the question. We don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but just to let me show you two things. So this is a smartphone. So this is a smartphone and this is not a smartphone. So this is an example of growth. So this was sometime before. Everybody was having these type of telephones with the hand, and then nowadays Siam is pointing to me. Is that a smartphone?
No, it's not. It is not.
So you may be considered as somebody who is not going for the growth. So this is an example of growth. So we will be looking at what is economic growth. So just let's have a little look at the video, and then we.
It's good. It is more fun.
Algonquin College has a long history with skilled trades, and particularly the construction trades, and we were spread out in a number of facilities in the college. So the vision was to put all of the construction-related programs into one center of excellence. The thing I like to mention about the building is there's 3 key themes. First of all, what we call interdisciplinary activities and programs that the students can participate in. So it's a very collaborative environment where you're not only coming here to take a particular program and learn something specific, but you're getting to do it within a broader team, a broader context. So if you're coming to learn carpentry, you're working alongside plumbers and electricians, architects, civil engineers. The other theme in the building is the idea of the building being a learning tool itself. So it's a living lab. We're pulling data from sensors in the building to use in classrooms. There's cutouts that teachers can take their students to in terms of seeing what's under the floor, behind the wall, above the ceiling. The other thing it does for students is it shows what it means to build sustainably and live sustainably. So we have a 5-story bio wall. So basically we're showing students that to have a smaller footprint on our planet, it's doable, and this building is LEED. It's LEED Platinum, and that certification is very difficult to get. We're very proud of that fact, and that's something that we promote to students as well, as a way to say, come to Algonquin College and you too can learn how to achieve these kinds of things.
Thanks, gentlemen, for the help. Okay, let's go back to our. So, what do we see from the video? What do you think?
Yeah. I have one question I'll ask you later on. So there are 2 like concepts, growth and development. I want to differentiate the difference between the 2. So this is the new courses. Maybe when we develop, the country develops, there are quantitative and qualitative changes. I think they are more talking about the qualitative changes.
Yeah.
Like new changes.
Any idea from anybody else? Kevin, you want to say something? Clear? Yes.
You talked about the interdisciplinarity and how you can bring different disciplines to make sustainability, and also you talked about the green walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering how the different view, because when you bring the green stuff, it is always costly.
Yeah.
So how you consider in the economic view?
Yeah, so I don't know if you notice the two words, build, sustain, and live sustainably. So that's the word that is more important for the growth. You know, so I mean, and to answer the question to answer about development is something else. It's just very closely related to growth, but development is something very small. When you talk about growth, it's a very wide range of things. Okay, and in this particular video, there are two things to see. One is you see it's a new structure being built by, for example, the new facilities are coming up, and a lot of new things. I mean, it's an example of giving new facilities to the students. So this is in one way, this is an example of a development of a particular, for example, an area or a college. But in a broad sense, this is of course an indication of a growth in the economy. So, for example, when everything is going in right direction like that, then we can see that the economy is having growth. After, can you just hang on and we just come back to it later on. Let's just do for a group. Can you just volunteer me for passing it down? We are going to form a group now. There are 4 different groups. Anwar is distributing the handout. Can you please form the group based on a number written on the paper? Okay? Maybe I can take half of you from. Can I take half of it so that we can make it a little bit more quickly? Thank you. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay?
1, 3, 4, 3.
Yes, come.
3.
So where is number 1?
Anybody want?
Where is number 1?
2. I want.
So what? Can I have 2 here, please? Number 2? Number 2 here, please.
1 is anybody?
What is that? Can I have number 1 in this table, please?
Yeah, we are.
With 3. 3.
So number 3 on that table, please.
Where is 4?
Anybody with 4? 4. Rania. 4 is there. 4 is there. Because Rania.
Just be careful about
You just need to flip the paper here because number 3 is a different one. 4 is there. You're number 2, right? How many in this group?
4. And we are all
You're number 1? Okay. Just join number 1. Because number 1 is having a this is So can I have a relation, please? So the question says you need to determine or need to find 3 factors. Okay? So just go on with only 1. Okay? 1 and a half. Just find 1 factor and then I will ask you to report to the class. But this is only a 2-minute activity. Okay? Let's start.
Or maybe that will reduce the production.
Three factors.
Okay. Okay, everybody, please. Let's just start. What do we have from? Which is group number 1? Can we just see what? Only one factor that I told. Can we just share with us?
Gross domestic product.
Can you please read out the question there, because the question is not same for everybody.
Mention 3 factors that may contribute to a sustained increase in our material living standards. So you told us to mention just one. We have written GDP, gross domestic product.
Okay, so GDP. Which group number 2?
Yeah.
We mentioned GDP and also the developing science, because science contributes to technology development and stuff, so it can finally contribute to economical growth.
Okay. It is about the economic growth. What are the factors? Which is the group number 3? Okay, please.
We have 4.
Who is group number 3? Yeah, sorry.
Mention 3 factors that may hinder sustained increase in our mature living standards. One was, of course, income level. If you don't have income, that's one example.
No, the question was hinder economic growth. It's not.
So reduction.
So it's something which is productive. It stops. So, so what are the other?
Reduction in income.
Okay, that's very good. Reduction in income. Okay. So which is number 4?
We have,
Read the question.
we have, it's the same, hinder sustained growth in a nation's economy. So we're thinking about the overuse of resources, because if you don't have resources, it is impossible for you to have or sustain your economic growth.
Thank you very much. So overuse of usage of resources, that's nowadays, when you talk about economic growth, this is the main problem that we have. Because a lot of people, especially like people like CN, who is more interested about the environment, they come and they say that we don't like you to use all the resources because the environment is being degraded, so we are now in trouble. So thank you very much for the point. How do you want to say something?
I just wanted to add one observation that the biggest hindrance can be because of illiteracy.
Okay, yeah.
That's the biggest hindrance.
Okay, so let's just move forward. So what is basically the word that I said before while we were watching the video, the sustained, that word is more important, okay? So there is always some increase in the income, there is always some increase in the production in each and every nation in the world, but the problem is we do not have the sustained increase in the production. So the economic growth means we must have a sustained increase in the production. Then we can say that we are having an economic growth. And that's the main idea, is an increase in the material living standard, so we can live better. So it's not really one particular thing, it's about the whole thing, whole of our life. So when you have an increase in the living standard, and this has been sustained for a long time, like long time means 5, 10, 20, 50 years. So that's when you talk about, that's the growth. So when we talk about economic, we can indicate, we can measure this growth in different variable factors. For example, there are 3 factors. One is GDP, which is this group identified as group number 2, right? Group number 1 identified as one of the most important factors, gross domestic product. So the total amount of production being held in the economy in a particular time period. So that's the most important thing to determine whether we have growth or not. So we have another 2 factors, which is gross domestic product per capita. That means when we distribute this production across the economy based on the number of population, then we can find what are the production for each people, each human being in the economy. We can also make it like a GDP per worker. So the labor force is not equal to the population. A lot of people in the population, they don't work. So all the people are not being counted as labor force. So that, now there is another one indicator, which is what is the production per worker. That can also be an indication of the growth. I already had a question.
Oh, I wanted to make a correlation regarding GDP and GNP. In what way you want to explain the influence of GNP and in the growth?
So
the GNP is the important factor, I think, but you mentioned that GDP is the only.
When you talk about GDP, GDP is the production being produced within the boundary of the nation. Okay? And when we talk about GNP, if some people from Canada go outside and they produce something and then something to the country, then we call gross national
Can I
product.
ask?
Yeah. But what does
So that's the difference, because that is being produced outside Canada.
Yeah.
But that particular, for example, man or woman, he or she is from Canada and she's sending some money to Canada, that is being added to Canada's total economy. But that's not the production inside the country. That's the
But
economy.
the GNP has a big influence in the growth of the economy.
Yeah, but that's really not production inside the country. That's why we don't include that in this. Can we just move on and after?
Okay.
Okay, so that's the picture that we talked about. So if you see, it started from 1960, and now it's 2010. It's about 40 years. So this is the
This is for which?
when we have. This is just an example from Canada. So this is what we have about growth. So remember that I talked about it. It's not really very short period of time. It's like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years. And when you have like this, each and every nation have like this, but it depends how long it takes. Some countries have this like in 50 years, some countries needs around 100 years to have it. So when you have like real GDP, there are three indicators that I say. One is only the GDP, one is GDP per head out of the population of the country, one is GDP per work. Of course, GDP is of course highest in terms of three indicators because this is the total production, and this is something which is distributed among the people in the country. And then this is something distributed among the the labor force. So with these three indicators, if we have something like this going a little upward, then we can see that we are having growth. The time period is of course a very important concern here. Okay, the same growth can happen to some economy within 50 years, same growth can happen to some economy in 200 years. So it depends on the way the economy is going on. Let me show you another one example through a video. Okay.
Five years ago, we saw a sharp decline in manufacturing. A lot of our existing customers' products were going offshore. We had to make a radical change in the way we did business. We looked for products that were going to be here for a long time in Canada. So we went for tanks, oil and gas pipeline, things that wouldn't be brought in from offshore.
So we developed some coating pieces of equipment that would go out into the field and automatically strip, blast, and coat in a very environmentally friendly way pipelines that are existing into the fields. If it hadn't been for the oil and gas sector, when all of those companies were moving their fabrication offshore, our company wouldn't be where it is today, and we would have had to lay off more people. But it's through innovation, design, and new technologies that we've been able to grow the company. We've been able to hire new people, and we've been able to sustain jobs here in Ontario.
With the economic downturn, we were getting slow. We were working 6 hours. We were basically struggling to get jobs in. We were in the powder coating industry only. We were trying to figure out how to diversify.
As we look at technology, we look at growing the company. We've been able to grow jobs here in Ontario and of all different levels, from engineers to millwrights to folks that are out doing coating in the field.
We've increased our employment by about 20% strictly through doing work for the oil and gas industry here in Ontario.
We've just grown significantly. Everybody's very happy. It's a great group of people. Everybody works as a big family here.
We're at a point right now where we're bigger than we've ever been, and all of that is due to our investment in new technology and innovation in the natural resource sector and the pipeline industry.
Okay, so what do we see from the video? Anybody can? What is the idea? Yes, ma'am.
It's about growth within the company, taking advantage of the investments, technology, and innovations.
So thank you very much. These are the very important words that we use for economic growth. I mean, if you remember some of the words, economic downturn. So which we are going to talk about in the next class in business sector. We'll see how this growth is going to be in the right way. So that's not today's topic. And then we also had that innovation, the technology, more jobs, and we are now happy. So this is all about growth. I mean, while we are showing the video, we are showing in a particular company. But when you think about it as a wide thing, large thing in a country, then you can understand that the whole country is having this problem. Okay? Let's just have a look at this. So when we talk about benefits of economic growth, so this is the benefits of economic growth. So there are lots of new jobs. So people are having more income. When you have more income, you're buying more things, and this is the increase in the material living standard. But remember, first of all, it has to be a sustained increase. It's not that only for 2 years. So there is a sustained increase in the number of jobs, for example. So when you can see that, then you can see, oh, that's the benefit. That's we call the economic growth. Okay. Another one is, for example, the greater income equality. That's very important because, this is very important for the growth to happen because there are a lot of countries where a lot of people are very rich and a lot of people are very poor. So there is nothing in between. So the distribution of the income is really not equal. But the growth suggests that we have to have a greater equality in income distribution. So that everybody in the economy can have at least a minimum level of standard of living. Yes, Kevin.
So this is against capitalism, right?
I'm not talking about capitalism and something like that. It's something about economics.
More Keynesian economy than like Adam Smith or Milton Friedman for that matter.
Yeah. So the one that you talked about is something about political economy, but I'm not talking about that. We're talking about the theory of the growth. And then after, maybe in some topics, then we can talk about that. Okay? So this is about the second benefits. Now think about the cost of economic growth. Can you understand what is that? Can you tell me what is the meaning of this picture here? Yes, Mohan.
The cost sometimes affect the environment and could cause pollution, for example. So the cost is very high, would affect our health and our environment global. So.
Yeah, fantastic. That's good. There is a problem always with the environment.
Here I think it is the costing of growing the tree, and in what way it benefit the environment.
You're very near. So basically, this means that you just can you hang on to that. So we're just thinking about not consuming today. So you do something for the future. So that means we are consuming less now, doing more investment that Mary told. For example, we were talking about in the videos. We do more investment for future than less consumption now. So that's the sacrifice for this generation, and then that's something for the next generation. So this is the indication of you are consuming less now for the future people. So that's investment. And another cost. So this is, what this guy is doing.
It's plowing the
Plowing the land. Fantastic. So plowing the land, but nowadays, so once the growth is there, technology is coming up. After some days, some people will be doing this with machine, This guy will lost a job. He will lose the job, and then he will. This is also a cost of economic growth. Sometimes in some sector, people, because of the new technology, we just lose some jobs. Yes, Rashmi, you wanted to.
No, I was thinking the same time I'd be driving a tractor later.
Yeah, because for example, he has to learn that skill before he starts driving the tractor. So there is some time for him to take control of that problem. Because when the new tractor is there, new people will also be there to start working. So for some time, he will find himself not having a job. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, that's true. But when you will start to use tractor, the productivity will be 5 times more. So automatically that will create more jobs. For
exactly. That's the benefit. But still, some people will initially will have some problem. We will find ourselves in a little troublesome situation. Okay. So that's all about the economic growth. Okay, we have another one, a small little activity. So we just want to go. So we want to see if we can understand that for example, concept. Okay.
Can I have?
Yeah. Please go on.
The same question stuck in mind for a long time. Can I ask it?
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
There are some 5 multiple choice questions. So try to answer it, try to work within the group, okay? So how many minutes? Should be the same.
Thank you, Rashid.